Cent Podcast.
Hey everyone, Matthew here. Before we begin today's show, I just want to remind everyone of this month's sponsor, Whale Street. Whale Street is the DeFi engine that powers NFT economics on a massive scale. They make huge currency swaps happen, or whale swaps as they're called, with very small slippage costs and without crashing the system. They also engineered the largest ever NFT bundle and fractionalized it into the historic B20 tokens. Whale Street is all about upside, so dip into the liquidity pools for rich rewards. For B20, join discord.com/whale. That's discord.com/WHALE. And follow Whale Street on Twitter @WhaleStreetOFFL. Thank you and enjoy the show.
Hey, how you doing, everybody? This is the Love Handlz.
Hey, man, what's going on? Super happy to have you on the Matthew and Rizzle show. This is a long time coming. I'll get into the history of how we first met a little bit later on, but to get started, I think if you could introduce yourself to everyone, tell us a little bit about what you've been up to lately, but also your background before that. I think that'd be a perfect way to get started.
Yeah, man. So I go by the handle, the Love Handlz. I live on Instagram mainly. And I don't know, I guess I'll just start from the beginning. Like when I started to get into crypto, I think it was 2017, and it was when like the boom was going on, the altcoin boom. And I'm just watching this new technology and I'm like, what is this? Like crypto. So I get into it, and like everybody, I'm kind of like, okay, you can trade like stocks and they're like these coins and cool. But I was like, I have to know what this is. So I studied it, watched a bunch of YouTube videos, went on GitHub, found some code, copy pasted, ran it through the Ropsten net, the test net, and I developed a coin. And I was like, cool, what do I do now? You know what I mean? Like, what is this? So cool. And then all of a sudden, more blockchain starts springing up, more people start springing up. Coinbase starts adding coins. I don't know. Everyone knows the whole XRP. Like it's coming to Ripple, or Ripple's coming to Coinbase. So I started really excited, and then it kind of like died a little, and kind of forgot about it. And then I found you guys on Cent. I found everybody was on Cent. Right? I go, what's Cent? Because what I'm trying to do is the same type of thing as Cent. Like the skaters can go on and upload their footage, and then people can like it. And it's kind of like a coin, right? Almost exactly like Cent. I was like, this is awesome. So they would get a like for their skating, and then that would accumulate slowly, right, as a micro, donation.
Back them up one sec, man, because not everybody knows your history as like a skateboard videographer, and they don't know if you're talking about figure skaters or like,
Got it.
So tell them a little bit about your project, dude, because it's really cool and unlike other things I've seen so far.
Sure, man. So it's called decentralized sponsorship, right? And it doesn't have to necessarily only be for skateboarding either. You can sponsor anyone like this through like a micro sponsorship. But my thing is skateboarding. And so, yeah, I've done like, I've been skating for like 30 years. And I'm getting older, and like you can't really do some of the things that a teenager could do. So you kind of pick up the camera because you're still into it. So I started filming my friends. And I decided to start this company called the Love Handlz. It's basically turning recycled skateboards into like camera handles and stuff like that. There's some stuff on Cent if you guys want to, ever look up my profile and check out some of the stuff that I did. But I make one on there and show everybody how you could make it. But long story short, that started doing really good, and it started blowing up on Instagram. And all my friends were like, hey, this is really cool. And shortly after, I developed the coin, skate coin, and I started kind of merging them both together. And that's when I found Cent, and I was like, okay, because I knew everything about the ERC20s, but I didn't know much about the NFTs. And once I found that, I was like, what is this? Like, this is even cooler. These are tokens too. And then there's just all these incredible artists on Cent doing all these different things. And I'm like, wow, this is awesome. And so yeah, it just progressed from there. And then I found this new we were talking about wax a little bit. I found wax, and it's like there's no gas and all this cool stuff. And then there's like these things where you can embed the IFPS, which I don't know how well that's going to work long term, but because I don't think IFPS is completely on chain, right? It's like a cloud service, but that's a whole nother thing. So anyway, wax is free to mint. There's no gas.
Real quick though, I think we can break this up a little bit and get into little bits and pieces. But when you're talking about scent and just for the folks, for background and context, and just for historical significance, I think it's really important to kind of share the backgrounds a little bit deeper of like how Rizzle, myself, and you first connected off of scent. And that was back in 2019. Like you were coming into the space with these concepts really, really early, actually. This is when Rizzle and I, just after we started like recording our podcast, where it was just us talking, right? It was just Rizzle and I shooting the shit. It was super fun. And then I think you had reached out to Rizzle to begin with about the idea related with like skater coin or something about incorporating skateboarders into the space. And Rizzle was like, yo, Matt, someone actually reached out to us. Like, it's the Love Handlz. Do you want to hop on a call? Right. And that was the very first instance of anyone inbounding to us to talk to us. And we were like, what the fuck? This is so cool. And we hopped on the call with you. We had like an hour deep conversation about everything. You're coming with all these ideas. And again, like timing is just so important, right? At the time, the space was so new. I mean, NFTs, no one, absolutely no one outside of like the folks that were on Scent had heard of NFTs really, let alone like we're buying them. So I think that's sort of like a really important reminder to folks. Like you have the ideas, you may just be a little early. You got to stick around and kind of be persistent. And then we're talking to you today. But I kind of want to get filled in on what happened on that interim basis from when we had that conversation. I know there are all the ideas floating around. It's probably a little bit too much to chew off at the beginning. And again, the market wasn't ready for that. But what did you do after that call up until, I guess you recently, within the past couple of months, reached back out to Rizzle and Token Smart and them and started getting going again? What did you do between that?
Okay, so it all started with you and Rizzle. So yeah, I was uploading a lot of stuff with my handles and like skater, just pictures and videos. And so I get this DM from this Rizzle guy, which I've seen him on Sync because he was one of the top dudes, right? Like, no, like he doesn't follow anyone, right? And he's like, everyone follows him. Yeah, remember that? And I'm just like, dude, this dude's sick. So I actually got a DM from Rizzle, and he goes something like, hey man, like I don't really use like cameras or whatever. He goes, consider making something else maybe that's more useful with your recycled stuff, like a doorknob or something. And I was like, okay, cool. And I was like, well, I broke it down. I was like, well, it's for skaters and this and that. And so Rizzle was like, you know what? This is how I want to help. He goes, I want to sponsor skater. I was like, dude, this is cool. And I kind of maybe what sparked the whole decentralized sponsorship was that got me thinking, because I had the coin, right? But what do you do with the coin? So we started talking more, and he started showing me the ropes a little bit, how to comment and stuff, because I was lost when I first logged on there. That was really my first introduction to NFTs at all. I didn't know how to make them. I didn't know that you just, go into Photoshop and do your thing and everything and upload them. I was like, I don't even know how to do this. Like, what is this? So after I talked with Rizzle and
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. We got on the show, right, with you, and then I met you, and you were like, yeah, cool. Like, we'll try this out. I want to sponsor a skater. And then like COVID kind of hit and kind of like killed everything for me in a way, because I work at a hospital. And like front lines, I'm actually deliver medicine. I deliver like COVID medicine to the nurses.
Oh shit.
So I'm like front line, and like NFTs are cool, but it's like, what's this pandemic, right? Like we have to handle this. So I kind of like went fully part-time Scent, And then I remember the whole trash chart scene. Everyone remembers that. Like the whole like Scent was kind of like, there was like this group and then that group. And then I feel like everybody, I don't want to say that matters, but everyone that I like met on Scent, they're all on the Token Smart Discord. I feel that's where everyone ended up.
Yep.
Yeah. So I found that again, right? I found you guys again. So what happened was Man, this all started too with marble cards when I found you guys and I started studying everything you guys are doing. And then marble cards was kind of big. And I was like, okay, I like these are kind of cool. So I minted up some marble cards and then I found out how to work them. Right. And then they opened up the link to send. So I was like, oh, cool. You could like post stuff and marble it and then delete it. And then, you know what I'm saying? And now you have your marble card and you don't have a post or anything. So those kind of things were going down. And then I was like, okay, what else can you do with these marble cards? So I was like, you know what? That'd be cool if you put a wallet on there. So I put, the QR code of a wallet on there on the sign of a homeless man, right? The original meme on the internet was like, go work for food. So I just grabbed that, threw a wallet on it, uploaded it to Marble. And then I had this crypto bum Marble card. I was like, cool, I'm the first. Like, how everyone's like, they're the first to do everything in crypto. So I was like, I'm the first dude with a wallet, sick. And then like, yeah, it was cool. Some people donated to it. And Rizzle donated. And I like gave him another South Park Marble card for it. And I kind of was trying to offer up these little rewards, right? So donate to this Marble card, right? And hopefully I can get enough money to like feed some people. Like that would be really cool. And that was back when like, I think it was like $100 for ETH or something, $120 for ETH. So these little donations, $5-10 that people were sending in was still in that wallet when ETH exploded. And that's how I ended up getting all that dough. You know what I'm saying? It's not really all that dough. It's like $600, but I used that to finally, I was like, cause my goal was like $500. So I was like, cool. It's getting there. And all of a sudden, boom, ETH explodes. And I'm like, oh, cool. I have the money now to do what I was going to do. And I'm like, I have other people's money in there. So I'm like, we're doing this. So I loaded up my truck, my Jeep with food. And I did that food run that you guys saw. It's on Twitter. And that's when I was like, hey, I wanted to reach out to Rizzle. I was like, dude, check it out. I did it. Like your money was used for where it said it was going to be used for. And Rizzle was stoked. And he was like, this is cool. Like, awesome. Because he probably forgot all about it, And yeah, I'll let you guys take it from here and ask me some questions because I'm rambling. There's so much to talk about, bro.
It's good, man. Yo, it's so amazing, man. I mean, I feel like, yeah, those early Cent days were such an incubation period for ideas. And like the stuff that you were playing around with so long ago, that people still aren't really like playing around with now, man. You were like so far out, you were sort of like falling into this category with like Godfrey, like Boombox Head and Jin, in the sense that like, you were playing around with concepts that were just so far out in front of where people were ready to deal with them, that it wasn't, the space wasn't ready for these things to get off the ground. But dude, now here we are a couple of years later and you're still at it, and the landscape has changed a little bit. Right. And, we haven't, we talked about the concept behind the skate coin and what you're trying to do. But dude, you were sort of like low key on this like NBA Top Shot style of NFT, like probably before NBA Top Shot came out with it. You were talking about like selling collectible clips of or gifs of skaters doing different tricks, and taking it one step farther, man, and allowing those NFTs to actually the proceeds go towards sponsoring that skater, which is cool, man, because that's like a different it's a different type of sport, obviously, than professional basketball, in the sense that like you're a lot of people are really good but not getting paid like that, or have enough money to make a professional go of it or anything. So it just amazes me like how far out in front of a lot of these concepts you were early on. And a lot of people sort of suffer the same fate, in the sense that like NBA Top Shot comes out and like does something similar and just like dominates the space or whatever. But to this day, man, I don't think a lot of people are really doing what you're doing. And yes, dude, we connected on like the charity tip because, again, dude, I feel like that was something you were way, way out in front of, like unprovoked. Like you just decided to like start doing this thing. And I had, such a huge amount of respect for that, because, you weren't someone who was like asking how to do things, or should I do this? Can I do this? You just like straight up did it. And I was like, yes, man, this is like a go-getter. This is like the type of person the world needs and the space needs. And, you know, we can talk about the food drive that we did recently with great success in a little bit, man. But I feel like, you know, the world should know like how far out in front of everything you were. And, you know, to the extent that, you know, people are still playing catch up with some of the concepts you rolled around with. What is the current status of like the Skatecoin project? Like where are things at like present day, and where do you hope to, you know, sort of take things in the short term?
Okay, so I feel Skatecoin is probably about 80% developed. It's on Uniswap right now. I think I just need to do all the finishing things, like get the logo for the Skatecoin up on like Etherscan and stuff like that. But yeah, you can fully invest into it if you wanted to right now, or you could like spend it if you have any. There's some out there that people have like acquired, you know, over the couple years. Not much, but they're like 7 cents a piece. It's pegged to Ether. It's pegged to like 0.001 or something to the Ether. But yeah, my original idea was to make it an Ether penny or something, and then I wanted to do like the first penny stable coin, which is kind of cool. Because I want it to be micro, you know. It's like, so this is how it works. So it's called decentralized sponsorship, and it's just like traditional sponsorship, except for it's peer-to-peer. So instead of a company hiring a skater, then the company like pays for the filmer, pays for the lighting, pays for the editor, all that stuff. Skaters do that on their own. They do that in their bedroom. You know, they like editing their own stuff. They like putting their own music. So you can skip all those expenses and just go straight to the skater and just buy his clips or make a deal and like, hey, come do a personal video for us or send us footage and we'll go ahead and like send you tokens, or however they would want to work it. And then, like you were saying, companies, there's too many like skaters nowadays for all the companies to pick them. And there's some dudes you don't even like know, bro. There's dudes out there that are killing it better than pros, and there's just no room, right? And with the like new advance of like social media, you can easily just get onto social media. You have 30, you know, 40,000 followers sometimes, these guys. All it would take was 10,000 of those people to just give them a like, you know, a penny, or buy a clip for 15 cents, 50 cents. That stuff really starts to add up. And the kids that are going to be kind of like into this are the ones that are not getting those free boards. So it's kind of a way for like Patreon, like a micro Patreon, but for skaters to just be able to skate, to just be able to like get a board. So that maybe they would just have to, you know, sell 3, 4, 5, maybe 10 clips a month, and they could get a board. And maybe they're an even better skater and they have a lot of, you know, fans. All of a sudden you sell out your clips. You know what I'm saying? Wow, man, I can go get a board. I can get shoes, and maybe I could probably even pay my rent, dude. Like, this is crazy, because skateboarding is the newest Olympic sport. I don't know if anyone out there really, I'm sure you guys know, but it's because of COVID, it's not being announced that much. So maybe people don't know too much, but yeah, it's the next Olympic sport, which is cool. So it's not going anywhere. So my whole thing is like, you can pick some kids out of the crowd, right? Almost like they're the first human tokens, is what I like to say. You fully invest in them, right? So you would say, okay, my skater is dope. I like my skater. He's cool. I'm going to invest in his clips. But look at his shoes, dude. Why does he always have these raggy shoes in his clips? So you can like buy tokens that I'm going to make that are, I'm just going to go ahead and like play with the whole IP thing. There's so many links to people's websites and stuff. So I decided I would do it like marble cards. So I would put a link onto this token to where you can scan it and go to the website of the actual skateboard product. So it's like a virtual skateboard shop almost. So I'll buy the physical skateboard, then I'll make a token of it. Then a sponsor could buy that token, right, for the same price as a skateboard if they wanted to, and then drop that to any of their skaters that they are sponsoring, and then they can come to me and pick it up, or I'll mail it or something. Or you guys could even claim the skateboards and I'll send them to your house. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a virtual skate shop, and everything's pegged to physical items. So all these tokens will be backed by the actual physical items. So if your skater has raggy shoes, pick him up a pair of Nikes and drop them in his wallet, dude. And now he's got a new pair of shoes. You know what I'm saying? And if like there's these sharks out there and these whales that they really like to give back sometimes, man, do what you do. contact him, buy him whatever it is you're trying to do, or advice, or however you're trying to work it. But it's essentially you're buying his service. So you would sponsor him and he basically skates for you, but like on a micro level. So it's like, hey man, make me a video, or hey man, like I'd like to see a kickflip. Can you kickflip for me and make me a kickflip? Anything that you could think of. You know what I'm saying? He's like, you're buying, so I'm trying to make 88 clips for each skater. So you're buying like an 88th of that skater, and he can like post you on his Instagram. Like the guy I drove up here with, he's got like 16,000 followers. Some of his clips get 500,000 views when they hit. And it's like, he could wear a Token Smart shirt around the skate parks, or he could wear like a Love Handle shirt, or a skate coin shirt, or a marble card shirt, you know what I'm saying? Or anything, a wax shirt. And it's like, now you can get your product on the streets, almost like a moving billboard, for the small price of like $1.50. You know what I mean? So, or they could tag you in his post. There's all kinds of stuff they can do for you, to try to advance your brand on Instagram and like TikTok. That's kind of where I'm going with this.
FOMO. I want alpha access.
That's what I'm
skaters,
saying.
Man.
We made it to alpha. That's one thing I can be proud of. My coin finally made it to alpha. It's ready to be like, shown to the world and tested. I mean, I'd like to make it to beta, which is fully testing it and having the site out. But right now I'm concentrating on this alpha. We're building it up, and he's available. So there's only 88 tokens. So yeah, if you don't get a token, you probably won't be able to like have him wear your shirt in the streets, or whatever it is you're trying to do with this guy or girl. We're going to try to find a girl too. We want to cover all aspects. Some of these guys are super good. Some of them already have like some sponsors, so they would probably even be more like high end tokens. Because if they're wearing, let's say, a wax shirt, there might be kids that are like, because they look up to these guys and they say, wow, what's wax? And then he brains it. There's some Street Fighter cards on there. There's some other stuff on there. Oh, cool. Now wax gets on another wallet is born, and same thing with ETH. Anyone can have like, a sponsor. Like Connie Digital could be like, yo, check it out, wear my shirt. Give out some NFT tapes or whatever to the friends. And all of a sudden it pops, and now he's selling thousands of these things to like kids, which is not the actual point, but kind of, right? You give and you get with a sponsorship. Yeah. And
I want to sponsor a skater so bad and flex so hard on everybody.
Man, my friend took a walk. Exactly, dude. You're like, my skaters, dude. My dude that I came up with, dude. He's into being different, and he does some tricks that have never been done before. So there'll be tokens out there where there's a trick that is never done before, and we're gonna be like, hey, if you can find this trick on the internet anywhere, we'll give you like $1,000. Like, that's how confident we are that no one can do the tricks that he can do. So we got that guy. And then I got a little kid in Hawaii. He's like 13. He's really good. He's always riding chipped up boards and raggy shoes. And I'm sending him some stuff over there to Hawaii and stuff. But yeah, it's a chance to really push these kids. And then you never know who's going to be the next Olympic star. Could be your token. So it's like the same thing. You invest into this token. You can push the token. You can buy the token shoes, you can upgrade your token, right? Because it's a human. And first human token, I guess that's what I'm trying to do. And it's probably not the first, but yeah.
Dude, where and when, man? I mean, people are probably listening to this and thinking the exact same thing that I am. I'm like, yes, I want.
Yes.
The first one's actually out. It's the hippie jump, or hippie. He wanted to call it the hippie hop. But it's the trick is basically called the hippie jump. I did it first because it's one of the first tricks that's ever been done on a skateboard, right? Probably back in the 70s or something. I'll probably come out with the ollie next, and then the kick flip. And then from there, we'll just start putting out tricks. But they're actually, I'm not going to say the first because that's so played out now. Like I'm telling you, there's some teenage Russian dude or somewhere that's coded this out. I'm telling you, dude. On some blockchain.
Right. There's always a first before the first somewhere.
Yeah, dude, to where he's like, he doesn't even want it out. So they'll be fully out in about 3 months. I should be done with all of them. It's an 88 card set. Right now I just have drop packs because my biggest issue is I'm not like a full Web3 stack developer. Like, I need one of those dudes. If I could do that, like, this would have already been finished like probably 2 years ago. But I don't have those skills to fully build. So I can figure it out. And I think that's my next move, is to go ahead and learn some JS and stuff. But other than that, it's kind of like maybe someday I could hire a dude and really kill it with a website and a whole thing and, links to the Instagram. And that's another thing I wanted to say. So I'm not the first, but these are basically like tokenized Instagram posts. So you buy the clip, it's got links to Instagram on there. You can scan the back of the card and it goes to the skater's Instagram. So you can kind of verify that he's a real human being and he's actually skating and like he's the guy, verification. And I like to say it's kind of backwards because you're using Instagram to verify crypto, which is right. It's backwards, but nevertheless, you can go on there and the clips will be there on Instagram. And that's where all the skaters live. There's millions of followers, bro, on my skater. You know what I'm saying? All put together. They have thousands and thousands each. And it's like, yeah, I mean, a token smart story, they'll definitely, thousands of people at least see it. Like, wow, what's this? And then, I don't know, whatever brand, like let's say an Avastar skater. All of a sudden there's an Avastar in the skate parks, dude. And like highly respected dudes, as far as like to the younger generation. So that's kind of what I'm working on. Tokenized Instagram posts that you can like sponsor and you give and you get and he gives and he gets. And it's like a symbiotic relationship that hopefully will work very well. That's my thing. Yeah.
From the first time I've thought about our conversation multiple times since we've had it because the intersection of skaters and NFTs, crypto, art, it's always made so much sense to me. Because of all the things that you described previously, like skater culture is just, again, like there's a lot of skaters in crypto art to begin with. I always think about like NFT skateboards, right? As a perfect example. And it's just always been surprising how it hasn't kind of hit yet. And what you're working on right now, hopefully it's that transition strategy to kind of bring in and open the floodgates for that whole space to come in here. And again, for everyone that's been in crypto like yourself, that's seen that dramatic appreciation in the assets that we're holding over the last like half year, even not even the full year,
right?
We can start to take some of that wealth and funnel it into this incredibly exciting area of skaters. Like I don't use Instagram, but when I do use Instagram, I always look at folks doing skater tricks, but there hasn't been exactly. There just hasn't been any way to really meaningfully sponsor them. It's just like $0. And you're listening to, it's almost like, again, the taking valuables and tokenizing tweets and letting folks kind of monetize what they've been sharing on Twitter. Like you're doing this in an even more impactful, even more meaningful way, arguably over on Instagram with folks, with all the content that folks have been sharing up until then. So dude, keep at this, keep letting us know what we need to shout out, because I feel like this idea just needs air to kind of breathe and to fuel the flames. But I feel like we could stay in this rabbit hole forever, but I also want to get into how you've been utilizing a lot of the technology in the space, like with what you were doing with the Wax blockchain, which a lot of people aren't really up on. Some of the early comers definitely know about what's up over there. People that have been into like a few of the projects that have launched on there know what's up, but it's definitely smaller compared to Ethereum and all that. So walk us through what you've been doing with Wax blockchain and all that.
Sure. Before I get started on that, I just want to say one thing. I want to shout out to Marco. It's My Life is Better Than Yours. The handle he goes by, MLIBTY. Dude, without him, I probably wouldn't be doing a lot of this because he inspired me big time. We've connected and he's actually coming on the team, hopefully. We're going to do some clips of Marco. Would be really sick.
Wow.
He's stoked. Nice. Yeah. And, he's on Wax now too. He just got on, and I think he posted his first skateboard the other day, which is awesome. I can't wait to like work with him. So yeah, Wax. I hate to say it, guys, but they're killing ETH right now because of the whole gas thing, and it's like they have this different technology. It's really exciting, and they have a lot of like big name IP coming on. So it's really cool to have like my skaters next to like a Street Fighter card. It's pretty cool. So with Wax, it's a lot different, right? I don't think it's as art like oriented as ETH. Like when you think ETH NFTs, you think like a lot of money art, or you think like, I don't know, the first of stuff. Wax is like the next, I don't want to say upgrade because they're still different blockchains, but there's just things you can do with wax that are like different. So it's like you can get really creative, like embedding the QR codes. And I'm sure you can do this on ETH too, right? But I guess people haven't really done that because they're more art oriented over there. But in wax, they're kind of more like, how are we going to make this like a commercial thing? How are we going to sell these to people? How are we going to put these in packs and get them to the masses? And I think on wax, the answer is less expensive. Like, you're not going to get a good painting, a good piece of work on Ethereum for less than like $1,000, right? If you really want something that's dope. And it's like on wax, you can get stuff for 10 cents, 50 cents, because it's kind of almost like ETH before ETH blew up. It's like, what can we do on wax? And, and people are putting in like, QR codes and stuff in packs, which I saw ETH finally has, some packs, which they went incredibly fast, which is awesome. Well, they didn't get one. But yeah, wax actually has the same problem. People will drop their packs and they're gone in like 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
I've noticed that, man, as well. I feel like I've been playing around with wax lately because of you, honestly, and I get the same vibe in terms of it feels like the early days of ETH, and I feel like creativity on the ETH blockchain has been stifled significantly by the gas prices. You just don't have the creative freedom to just try a million different things and see what works. And dude, I picked up a hippie hop while we were talking here. It cost me $2.22. Nice. I supported your thing. Feel fucking great about it. And it didn't cost me like any gas or anything. And, and I'm able to support a project without going broke and without, honestly having to pay $50 worth of gas in order to get my money to the appropriate person. And dude, maybe this is like a decent segue to talk about the food drive that we did, because part of the strategy that we took with the food drive was to sort of like divide and conquer. We were fortunate enough to get a lot of money to create some custom sponsored NFTs that we sort of treated as high-end pieces of art and put them on the ETH blockchain. And then, dude, you came up with some killer designs yourself that a lot of money was also very impressed by, as were a lot of people. But we were able to put, well over 100 NFTs. I say we, like I did it, man. You were able to put well over 100 NFTs on the Wax blockchain and sell them for a couple dollars each. And it is different, man. It gives people the opportunity to contribute who may want to, but, gas is prohibitive or just don't have a ton of money to come out of pocket, but you can afford a $3 thing of like, Rizzle hot sauce and feel good that money went to what you're in San Francisco to do. So I don't want to get like too far ahead of explaining all that, but do you want to talk a little bit about the food drive and, how that concept initially hatched and what you're up to present day with it?
Yeah. So like you were saying earlier, we donated that first run right on ETH to the Marble Card, and that finally ended up going down. I bought the food and I fed some, homeless human beings. And so I reached out to you and wanted to show you, right? Because I think you're like one of the main donators. You donated a couple times, and I was like, okay, I gotta show Rizzle this is like cool, right? Because I watched it and I was like, wow, it works. And that's when you were like, damn, dude, this is cool. Like, let's do another one, but let's like do it right? Let's do it better. So you got involved, and then you made some calls and a lot of money, which is my favorite artist on Ethereum, by the way. A little shout out there. But I was so stoked. I was like, really? A lot of money too? I was like, okay, well, I'm going to try harder on these art pieces, because like Matthew was saying, what did you do during the time when, between Cent and now? I was learning how to make NFTs, basically. That's what I was doing. And so I kind of got it, right? And then I found some cool tools you can use to animate your pictures and stuff. So I threw it out there, and it did come out pretty good. I was like, this is sick. And to hear a lot of money to like my stuff, that's a huge compliment, man. That's already made my day. I'm good for the day. But I'm serious, dude. I love that dude's art is so sick, the colors and stuff. But so I decided to do like some more stuff, some Rizzle hot sauce and some Trislet tacos. I think Rizzle asked, hey man, we can do some tacos next time. I was like, dude, I can probably run some like quick ones real quick. They're not going to look as good as the other token that I did because that thing took me like a week. That's the one thing I just want to throw in. A lot of people don't understand why these things are so expensive on Ethereum. Guys, it takes these artists sometimes 2-3 days to do these things. You know, you got to think $20 an hour is so cheap. Like that's an insult almost for an artist. Dude, $20 an hour for 5 days. You know, that's why they're $1,200, you know, $5,000 for a piece. So yeah, having said that, so yeah, right now what I'm trying to do, it's almost the same concept as the decentralized sponsorship, but instead of for skaters, it's just kind of like to feed homeless people, right? To just give them a break, man, give them a smile. So we made tokenized food, and you would buy the token, and once we earn enough money to make an impact, we'll go to find a restaurant maybe that's struggling. That's our plan today. I think we're going to do tacos, right? So we're going to try to do the Trislit taco drop today. So if that all goes down, anyone who's owning a Trislit taco will get a pretty cool surprise pretty soon, which is cool. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's hard because I do it and people are like, wow, this is so cool. And I'm like, I don't know. It's kind of like just printing out food coupons, kind of, right? And selling them. But my main goal would be for like the food companies to see this and to get it and to like have some kind of program, maybe on the back of their thing, you can scan it and get like a 20% off, you know, taco shell coupon next time you make tacos, and it's an NFT and you can just scan it at the checkout, and then some of that could go to the homeless people. And like, if the world really wanted to, especially with crypto, we could fix every problem there is. It's called decentralization. You know, we all know this. So yeah.
Yeah, dude. But I mean, again, man, I feel like going back to the beginning of the conversation, man, there's a difference between talking about it and actually just sort of like taking the ownership on yourself and just doing it and executing it, regardless of like no precedent having been set before you. And dude, you know, let's not make light of it, man. We raised a shitload of money for this food drive, you know, something around like 8, 9, 10K, depending on like the current valuation of Ethereum. Enough that like, you know, we got to sort of put some of it in like the food drive bank while we figure out the most appropriate way to allocate it, or maybe we, you know, continue to do, you know, smaller runs of food drives, you know, with this money. But dude, this is what we hope to happen. And I feel like you are on like some larger, again, man, ahead of the game, to the extent that like 2-3 years from now, man, you know, people are probably going to be doing something like what you're talking about. But, you know, here we are back in 2019 again, where you're the first, you know, way out in front, the first one to do something like that. But I do feel like, you know, there are more eyeballs on the space now. So maybe, you know, teaming up with a dope artist and raising 10K for homeless people, like, you know, get some eyeballs on the space. Maybe we get someone else who wants to like lend some support or help us figure out, you know, the most appropriate way to distribute, or, you know, another, you know, dope artist wants to hop on board and, you know, help us ramp things up. So I feel like, you know, that's one of the reasons why, you know, I always respected you so much and wanted to continue to stay involved with you, man, is because you've kept pushing this entire time, regardless of, you know, being way out in front. And, you know, now it's starting to pay dividends and you haven't stopped, and you're on to some other like really progressive stuff that, you know, nobody else is really touching right now, or at least, you know, we think to our knowledge.
Exactly.
Normally I ask at the end of the show
ahead,
for this, but I feel like, where can people reach you? People that are listening to this, that'll like next week in the Token Smart Discord, they're gonna be like, yo, I want to fucking get involved here. How can I get in contact with Love Handlz? Obviously that's your Insta, right? But what's the best way for them to get in touch with you? What's the best way to support and get involved right now, today, to help make this shit happen?
I think right now, Twitter. Just DM me on Twitter and ask me whatever you want. I will definitely get back to you. I'm not one of those dudes who are like, who's sliding on me now? It's like, bro, if you want to get involved, DM me. We will 100% like be happy to work with you and any idea you have, because this is way bigger than me. And like, my hopes and goals is for other people to copy this, right? I know how there's so many copycats in crypto, right? Well, copy this, guys. You know, make some tokens and food tokens and sell them and take that money. And even just give half, right? I'm trying to do a 100%. So anyone hearing this right now that donates, I'm personally will deliver 100% of your money, right? That's just what I'm into, especially with wax. There's no gas. I don't really have any expenses. Rizzle has told me multiple times, dude, I got you if you need it, like any kind of expenses, right? Which you've taken care of already, which is so awesome, right? Through the whale, right? Which is another, that's such an awesome project right there. So yeah, hit me up on Twitter, right? The Love Handles, or you can DM me on Insta, cool too, or you can even just email me at thelovehandles@gmail.com, and I'd be really stoked to work with you, like really stoked. Yeah, for
Dude,
sure.
Can I just say how much I love that mantra, man? Like steal this concept, copy this project. Like it's all for the greater good. You're not like doing any harm by like totally copycatting this thing, because you know the vibe is let's make a difference in the world, not like mine. So I just love that, man.
Yeah, please everybody copy all my shit. I'm serious, because we can use some more sponsors.
Coin.
Well, except for the actual coin, please. Yeah, you guys can go ahead and buy that one. No, I'm just playing, but yeah, go for it, guys. Like, do your thing. As long as it's helping people, why would anyone care, right? Because like I said, it's bigger than me, and the point is to kind of have people copy it, right? To kind of have one Love Handles in every community would fix homelessness ish, right? Especially if we start moving into blankets and like shelters and finding them jobs somehow. Like, it's really up to the human individual, man. Whatever you want to do, you can do it, especially with crypto. I mean, look what the websites have done for the world, just the internet alone. Come on, guys, this is the upgrade. Like, this is the internet upgrade. We're going to see stuff in 5-10 years that we didn't even think was possible at all. Voting, you know what I'm saying? All that stuff.
100%, man. And
super stoked. Yeah.
I feel like we're going to talk a whole bunch and a whole bunch more from now. And I love where your mind's at. And what Rizzle compares you to Jin and Boombox Head, aka Godfrey. I feel like that comparison is so fair. Like, those guys are living in the future, and you've been living in the future.
Man,
you're just
all I know is
all for the greater good, man. It's all for the greater good. But as we get closer to the end of the podcast, we always like to kind of pry open your digital wallet and see what actually you've been collecting in this space. Super curious to hear that.
Oh, I just picked up a couple chubbies. I'm not too into like the fake crypto punks or whatever, but these ones move, so I thought I'd cut them a break. So those are cool. Grabbed a couple of those. I'm really into wax, like Street Fighter I'm into, and because wax is free. And then I don't know what it is, but it's definitely my home, because when I was growing up, I loved the Garbage Pail Kids. I loved Street Fighter. Now they're coming out with Godzilla on the 31st. So just in case anyone's interested in that one, you better stack wax, because I don't think those are going to like last long at all. Those are going to be sold out. So yeah, I'm like, okay, so I have these skate tokens next to Godzilla. I have them next to Street Fighter. Like, how is this not like where I'm supposed to be, as far as collecting, dude, I don't know. I still haven't gotten a lot of money. I really would like one of those, but mostly I was into marble cards. I have like a bunch of marble cards. I got a bunch of Garbage Pail Kids. I got a bunch of Blockchain Heroes, and I hope you guys don't mind, but shout out to Blockchain Heroes over on the wax, man. Those dudes do it right. If you guys are looking for like a model to do your project after, watch some of those Blockchain Hero videos. Those dudes really did it right, because they believe in what I believe in. You have to give back. You have to jumpstart your economy. You can't just sell a bunch of packs and be like, cool, got all the crypto now, I'm going to make series 2. And it's like, no one ever got a promo card. Nobody ever got nothing. You got to give here in crypto, because it's so early. The pennies that you give now, it's like you're giving $100 bills to people. It's such a unique time in history. It's like, take advantage on helping people, because that's the new economy. And if you don't have enough people to run the economy, then guess what? You know what I'm saying? It's going to fizzle out. So that's my thinking. It should be community first, always in crypto. That's my feeling, and that's my heart. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man. Well,
love that.
Again, I can't wait to share this with the Token Smart folks and then just the broader audience. I really hope that this incentivizes or excites someone to kind of reach out to you, get involved, and just start doing the work to get this message out there and start impacting lives. I feel like that's the power. And you mentioned it. It's the upgraded internet. It's not just like, oh, looking and seeing cool shit. It's about actually impacting, helping to make that cool shit that other people are seeing that then inspires them to do the same thing. It's that virtuous cycle, man. And you're really doing it. So the Love Handlz, man, thank you so much for persisting and thinking about how to help a greater audience. Just doing all the damn things, man. Keep doing that. Keep creating. Keep staying inspired, man. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Hell yeah. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Hey, everyone. Matthew here. Thank you for listening to today's show. I just want to remind everyone of this month's sponsor, Whale Street. Whale Street is the DeFi engine that powers NFT economics on a massive scale. They make huge currency swaps happen, or whale swaps as they're called, with very small slippage costs and without crashing the system. They also engineered the largest ever NFT bundle and fractionalized it into the historic B20 tokens. Whale Street is all about upside, so dip into the liquidity pools for rich rewards. For B20, join discord.com/whale. That's discord.com/WHALE. And follow Whale Street on Twitter @WhaleStreetOFFL. Thank you, and see you next episode.
Send podcast. Matthew Rizzle. Send podcast. Send podcast. Matthew Rizzle. Send podcast.